All right. Well, good morning and welcome to Brekkie with the Guy Who Sews. Today is Saturday, the 16th of December. We are like, what, 9 days away from Christmas? Crazy to think, right? Anyway, I have my good friend here, Brandy from 100 Proof Quilt. We were supposed to have her on a few weeks ago, but due to audio difficulties, we weren't able to have her on. So we rescheduled it for today. Today, it's running just fine and smooth and dandy. Hopefully, it stays that way. But for anyone that doesn't know Brandy, she has her own channel. You can put in exclamation point Brandy or exclamation point guest if you're in the live chat. It's also in the description if you're watching as a replay. But Brandy, why don't you tell everybody who you are, a little bit more about your channel and what you do, because you do a lot of fun stuff.
As he said, my name is Brandy. Thank you guys for joining us today. So a little bit about my channel. So my channel is all about sewing and putting all my mistakes out there. When I first started getting on YouTube, it felt to me like everybody was perfect and nobody ever made mistakes. And I was new and I was like, well, come learn with me and come watch my mistakes so you don't have to do them too. And so
You
we,
also weren't watching my channel.
um, So I do lives every Monday. I didn't actually do one this last Monday. Work has been very, very hectic for me. But I mostly do lives on Monday at 9 Central Time. And we just do whatever I'm working on. If I'm doing something new, I show what the new process is and try to get as much information while we're doing it.
Yeah, you do a wonderful job. I don't get to catch your lives a lot of times on Monday because that's when I'm required to be at work and earning my keeps. But on occasions, like on public holidays and that sort of thing, I do get to catch you live occasionally, and it's always a lot of fun. So if you're looking for a fun live on a Monday morning, Brandy is definitely a great choice for you. Definitely head over and check it out, or watch the replay like a lot of other people do as well. It's always a lot of fun. But yeah, I do like your philosophy where you just hop in and just say, hey, look, I'm not perfect. This is how it is. Because I think a lot of people can relate to that. I know, we joke about my very, very bestest friend, and you have a different name for him, correct?
Yes, I call him the divorce lawyer. I call my seam
I,
ripper the divorce lawyer.
and why do you call it that? I mean, I know you've told me before, but some of the viewers may not know that. And I love your story behind this.
So when I'm sewing seams together, I call it marrying them. So when I have to rip out a seam, they're divorcing. So I have to divorce the seam. So it became the divorce lawyer. And then of course, I have different types of divorce lawyers. I have high-end ones, the ones that came with the sewing machine. So there's different levels of divorce lawyers.
Yeah, so there you go. I absolutely love this. It's so much fun. Every time you tell us you're bringing out the divorce lawyer, I always chuckle. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. But we have a nice little group of us this morning. It looks like my friend Beverly Akins is here with us. She's always here bright and early. Stephen Bland from Bland Designs and Idiot Quilters with us. He's always a lot of fun, has his own channel. You can put an exclamation, we'll get it right in a minute. Exclamation point Stephen with a V. So Steven. I know there's like 5 different ways of spelling Stephen, just like there's 5 different ways of spelling Sean. And most people don't get it right. That's actually, let me tell a little story real quick. We sometimes go out get something to eat, like go Chick-fil-A or Wendy's or whatever, that sort of thing there. And they now everybody asks you for your name. And I always tell them Sean, they spell it Shaun or whatever. And I really don't care. Like, I have better things to worry about than how people spell my name. So one of my exchange students looks at me about 3 months ago and he's like, how often did I get it right? I'm like, I don't know. I don't really pay attention. So since then, we've been paying attention to how many times they've gotten it right. Someone got it right for the first time this Monday.
Speaking of your little story, my husband never gives his real name. He always makes something up on the spot. Like they'll say, "What's your name?" And he'll go, "Pablo." He just
Well,
used to
I
use it.
well sometimes it's a good way because like I know back like when it was super busy, I'd say Sean, it's Chick-fil-A or something like that, and there'd be a John and a Juan and everything else, and there was so many of us. It was hard for me to discern whether it was my order or somebody else. So I used to give my wife's name for a lot of times. So, and then when I worked retail back in Australia, some people would give weird names like Big Dog or something like that. And I always thought that was good because like at least, if you call out Big Dog, only one dude's got to come forward.
It's true. This is very true.
I mean, at the cafe I worked at, someone called themselves the Green Lantern. I was like, I don't care. I'll yell at Green Lantern all day long. Like,
Yeah.
at least I know I'm only one person's going to come forward. It's not going to be like four Susans or seven Johns or Wands or Sean's. So, to me, it makes sense. All right. So anyway, got sidetracked. As we do here on the channel, this is not perfect. If you're looking for a perfect channel, I'm sorry you have not found it. I hope you find what you're looking for. Okay, so my mate Sean from the Moldy Lasagna is here. He's able to join us for once. He normally has to work, so it's good that he's able to join us this morning. Let's see who else. My friend Pasita is here with us. Linda Parsons. Mary G, my friend Gloria from King William County, Virginia. I got to hang out with her and some of her buddies a couple of weeks ago, and that was a really, really fun time. Pat Strawhouse is here with us from cold and I don't know if it's snowy up there, Muskoka, Ontario. Mary G, my friend Pastry Queens. I cannot remember her name to save my life at the moment, but she's a lovely lady, has her own channel. I don't have the link with me at the present moment. Cynthia Maria Field is here with me. Oh, my friend Pam from the Emptiness Crafter is here with us. She says, hi, Sean and Brandy. Finally able to be here. Hi, everyone in the chat. And I'm amazed because it is 11:06 p.m. tonight where she is at the moment.
Oh, wow.
Donnell Stitchery is here with us. Joycey, good morning. Good evening to Jan Johnson from Western Australia. It's a little earlier there. It's only 9 p.m. there. And let's see, Joyce is here as well. Nancy Gus, Shannon from Slay Arts. Definitely check out her channel, !Shannon, and she's doing a wonderful Vlogmas series along with Stephanie and so many of my other friends. I know I'm going to miss. Are you doing Vlogmas?
So I was trying to, but we discussed this. My job is just crazy right now. I'm doing 6 days, 12 hours a day. It's beyond crazy
Mhm.
right now.
One reason I didn't do it this year, I've tried 2 years, I failed both times. So that's why I did Vlogtober. I figured let's just do it a little earlier in the year and just make my life a little easier. So Donnell says imperfect is perfect. And yeah, finished is better than perfect. That's so true. Polly is here, Patty is here, and Christine, good morning. It's good to see you as well. So I think I caught everybody. If I miss someone, it is not intentional. I try to catch the chat as best I can, but just let me know. I just want to let you guys know that I did not miss you on purpose as well. So what are we here working on today? Well, after we had our little reschedule the other week, Brandy and I thought it'd be a fun idea to do a little project together. So Brandy, do you want to tell everybody what we're going to do today?
So we're gonna make mud rugs. We thought we would
Yes.
just make some mud rugs. We both have morning shows, and so we thought that would be the perfect little thing for us to do together.
Yeah, and we thought it'd be fun. We'll just make some little mug rugs, and we figured since it's the holidays, maybe make some. Are you doing your holiday themed as well?
Yes, I have some candy canes and hot cocoa, and I got all kinds
Okay,
of different.
okay, perfect. All right, so we did, and then I actually made a prototype. I'm going to make a few different ones because I think it'd be fun to show, what you can just do with whatever scraps you have laying around. So my intention last night was to try and make a candy cane one, and I'm going to show it on this camera because you can actually see the fabric better. And I thought it turned out pretty good, but then I realized, and this is where we say, we're not perfect here. I should have done the corners that I trimmed here and so forth in a contrasting color. I kind of goofed up and didn't realize that should be a different color. But, I made I cut out a little fabric for another one. So you'll get to see the proper one this morning. So this is my test of my prototype, and it turned out really good. And it actually fits my coffee mug. You can hopefully
Perfect.
see it there. Yeah, so it works out really well. And basically all this is 2.5-inch squares. There's four white, four red, and then there's four little dark green that are 1.75 inches each. So super simple. And then I have two bunch of batting, like two pieces for each one, that are 4 inches square. I made them a little bit smaller than the finished thing. So that way when I put it all together, it's just a little bit easier because what I did instead of doing binding because I'm lazy, I'm just gonna do it kind of like a bowl cozy where I just kind of zip around and then flip it out and then sew around the edge. So you'll get to see that how that all works out in just a few moments. And then I also brought some more. I'm just going to do a couple of quick 4 patches
Oh,
and then a 9 patch. So I figured that way, if you want to do something simple, and you don't want to do a bunch of complicated stuff, you don't have to as well. So Joyce says she likes the cup. Yeah, this is one that we got from a knitting festival several years ago. It's by a company called, it's a lady who calls a company Clay Monsters, and they have a bunch of different ones. I think we have like three of them here in the house, but this one is mine because we didn't realize it until we got it home, but this is actually a left-handed one.
Oh, well, that's nifty. It was meant to
Yeah,
be.
it's meant to be. So yeah, Amanda's like, yeah, you can have this one since it's left-handed. I was like, cool, now I have one. So yeah, that's a lot of fun there. I don't have any coffee this morning because as I was telling Brandy this morning, we only have enough coffee in the house for one more pot. And I don't want Amanda to go without because I'm the one responsible for replenishing the said coffee supply. So I'm going without coffee this morning. So far, I'm doing pretty well. But if I tend to flounder later on and I'm not wording as well as, well, you know what? I usually don't word well when I have coffee. So maybe this will be a true test to see how things go.
There you go. We're testing
All
out the
right.
coffee reflexes.
Yeah. But anyway, I figured it'd be good. Just I left it for her. So that way, once the live's over, I'll go ahead and brew it. And that way she has her coffee. So
That's
anyway,
good.
enough. Yeah, enough talking. I'm going to go ahead and actually get something done because otherwise you're not going to see anything done. Okay, good morning, Dragonflies with Donna. It's good to see you. Jeannie E is here with us. And oh, my friend Martha is here this morning. Good morning, Martha. And she was part of the 12 Days of Quiltness and wanted to stop by and say hello. I can't stay. I have to go to work this morning. Hope everyone is doing well. So if you haven't seen Martha's video for the 12 Days of Quiltness, it's an absolute hoot. Um, and you actually have a chance to win the quilt that she made. It's a lot of fun. So if you haven't done that, I don't know when the entries close. I would say it's going to be very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that if you haven't already done that. And then there's a bunch of other creators in that as well. I know Donna from Handmade by Ying is part of it. I can't remember the rest of the names. So, all
It's that
right.
coffee. It's that lack of coffee. Just
Now,
kidding.
like, what was last week's excuse and the week before? You know, I'd like to say yes, it's lack of coffee, but I think it's just me. Okay, so Donnell says she didn't know that coffee cups were left or right hand. This one, I would say, is because it has all this stuff on the front.
Yep.
You know, if it wasn't for that, I mean, you just have one design on one. You know, some mugs have like a logo or whatever on the one side. So technically, it doesn't really matter. But this one here, I think, would be very difficult to have this part here if it's on the wrong side.
You'd
So
be, you'd be,
that's why we're calling it left-handed, basically.
you'd be kissing his eyeballs.
Yeah, I don't want to kiss his eyeballs, and that would be weird. All right, so and then you're cutting your fabric, correct?
Yes, because this is my first time in my quilt corner here all week. I haven't been here. Actually, I probably haven't been in here in 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
It's been a rough couple of weeks. But
Well,
like
I'm
you
glad
said,
you're able to.
9 more days. So whew.
I know you'll get there. Yeah, thankfully for where I work, um, Christmas tends to, well, this week will be insane because everybody want their containers before Christmas and not have to pay to CN Rail their storage charges. But we tend to get a little less freight during the Christmas period because there's a lot of people in Europe that shut down for Christmas and people want to take, the week off between Christmas and New Year's. So we actually get a little bit of a
Yeah.
reprieve sometimes.
Oh yeah, we'll slow down like Christmas Day. It'll die off, and then we'll get busy again the second week of January for a couple of weeks when all the returns start coming back through.
Oh, yeah. I
So
didn't realize people still mailed their returns. I thought everybody electronically did it.
no, people still mail their returns. So
Oh,
yep.
okay. So there you go. Yeah, I really thought that'd be something that like occasional person out in the sticks that didn't have reliable internet or a good account. Yeah.
No,
That's,
you can actually go online and have them come by your house and pick them up.
oh,
Your
okay.
returns. When you go online to print your label and whatnot, you can set up for somebody to come pick them up, or you can drop it off at your nearest office. But yeah, you can arrange to have it picked up, especially if you have like a lot. Which, if one person's got that many returns, somebody wasn't buying properly. But
Right. I was gonna say I only file one, like am I missing something? Like, and see, this is when you come to the Brekkie with the guy who says you never know where the conversation is going to lead. I did not know that we're
Right?
going to talk about tax returns
Learn
today.
something new every day.
All right, so this is the first one. This is just a simple four patch. Yeah, it is cute. I mean, I had a couple of Christmas fabrics. Like this is a Christmas fabric I used for a project bag a couple of years ago. It was like an interior fabric, and then I just found some red and green because that's what we all associate with Christmas. So I figured, why not just do something super simple? And then I'll go ahead and do another one. I figure I'll assemble them all real quick, and then that did come out at 4.5. Good. Okay. It's always nice when a plan comes together. Jan says it's a right-handed world, Sean. Yes, don't I know it? But I think there's more and more left-handed stuff, and I just learned to adapt. Like when I worked retail, it was still back in the days where we had pricing guns. We had to put like the price label on it, and I tried using that thing upside down, left-handed. That lasted about 10 minutes.
No.
Um, yeah, I just learned how to do it the right-handed. It wasn't ideal, but after a while I figured it out. I mean, I use a mouse right-handed just because everybody else did, and it was just too much hassle to try and move it all the time. So, yeah, you make it work. Good morning, Fallon. It's good to see you. Good morning, Terese West and MC Topaz. And did I miss anybody? I don't think so. We are here today making some, not bulk cozies, that's next week. Um,
Mug
mug
rugs.
rugs. Mug rugs. Yeah, well, I'm making it very similar to a bowl cozy. So I'm going to be confused all morning, but that's okay. So, Brandy, what have you been up to? I think we talked, the last time we had you on the channel was about, what was it, a year ago on some change?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Way too long. We need to make that not happen again. So, but back then you had, I think it was fairly new into your YouTube journey, and now I think you celebrated like 550 subscribers. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm right around that area. Yeah, 550. Yep, that's where I am.
That's awesome. So let's see, like, what do you think has been your biggest challenge, and what do you think has been your biggest joy during this journey?
So my biggest challenge has been obviously that I work a graveyard shift. So sometimes I will come to my live so exhausted that it's not even funny. And sometimes I'll cut it short by, I'll only do a 30-minute live just because I'm so exhausted. And if I have to bring the divorce lawyer out too many times, then I'm like, okay, he was cute in the beginning, but now it's too much. Um, so that's probably been the hardest thing. I used to do more tutorials and whatnot, but my work schedule has really gotten in the way recently. I actually have put in for some day positions. Well, one's a day position and one's like a swing shift position. I would be home by midnight, which is much better than the graveyard, but I won't know about those until January. Um, my greatest joy, all the connection I get. So I don't work with a lot of people that are quilters, although I did join a guild since I started my channel, which I
Oh,
joined the
nice.
American Sewing Guild is what I joined, which isn't quilter specific. It does fashion sewing clothes. You'll have tatters there, cross stitch. I mean, it's really a wide variety of very talented people that do multitudes of things, and going to their retreats is just so amazing to me because you can go anywhere and find each table's got a different thing going on, you know.
Nice.
And I actually recently became their retail what did they call it, um retail liaison. So I will be popping around to the different quilt shops in my state to report back during our meetings about what they've got going on, what classes they've got. So I'm going to be the retail liaison. So I'm getting more involved in that. And I don't think I would have done any of that without starting my channel. So
Yeah, it definitely gives you a lot of confidence to do more stuff like that. Because like we talked about this briefly off camera, but and I've mentioned it a million times, and I'm very, very shy. I'm very, very introverted. Um, But, and people are like, well, how can you do this? It's something I enjoy. So, if you do something you enjoy, you'll happily talk about it. But being able to be confident enough to actually do that um, takes time. It takes practice. Like if you go back and look at my first lives, I'm very, very shy and not nearly as composed as I am today, even without coffee. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think it's really neat that you joined the guild. I have not joined the physical guild myself, just because there's really not a lot out there in my area that meets at a time that works for me, because most of them are like weekday mornings and that sort of thing there. There is one that meets, I think, once a month or so on a Saturday morning, but I'd rather hang out here with you people.
Okay.
So yeah, so I mean, I had to make a decision. Do I go live and hang out with all my buddies here, or do I go to the guild? And it's also like 45 minutes away. So I'm here with you guys, and I stand by that decision. Okay, good morning, Chloe. It's good to see you as well. I am so sorry to hear that you guys aren't doing great there, Fallon. Hopefully it all gets better for you as well. Jan says make some long ones as well, so you can put your mug and a snack on it. I had actually planned on doing that, but I did not have enough time because, my thought process is which pattern do I want to do, and I'll sit there and I'll overanalyze it for days, and then I have to come up with a decision at the very, very last minute. So I decided to do my own patterns, just making stuff up off the top of my head, so I didn't have to worry about copyrights or anything else like that. And then I just didn't have the time or inclination to make the longer ones. But I figured if this is well received, I might go ahead and just write, a few quick patterns and include some longer ones there for the snack as well. So thank you for that suggestion, Jan. It's on my plan to do. I just haven't got around to it just yet. So, all right. So this is the two that I've made so far. These are the simple 4 patches. I just did 2.5-inch squares each. So you can do those super quick. Donnell says the show was a bust. Only made $10 over booth fee rental. Tire show was slow and bad location to college next week. Yeah, that's what I worry. We've been to a couple of craft shows, and some if you get into a good one, you can do great. But if not, it can be a little more challenging as well, as she said there as well. Okay, so but she did make some friends, vendor friends, so that's good. Jan says it's really humid tonight. It's 23 degrees Celsius and 9:20. So it's about 75, 76, 77 degrees where she is right now. And that's at 9:20 in the evening. Okay. And it's always weird to me. Like I grew up where it was warm, but I've been here 22 years now, and I'm kind of getting used to shudder, the fact that winter is cold, but although I always say it's nice when it's warm. So
Mhm. I think it's
people,
37 here today, this morning. So I don't got to
yeah.
go out and break the chicken water this morning, but it's getting colder.
Yes. 30, so the computer tells me it's 36, or about 3 to 4 degrees Celsius if you're watching it from a metrified place. So I'm just doing my layout for my 9 patch. I think you might, oh, you can see it on the screen. Good. That was kind of my goal this morning. Okay, Mona says you need to find a well-established craft show usually for the waiting list. Yeah, definitely true. We have a craft show at the high school, which is very, very close to us, and they have their show first weekend in December, and they're usually sold out in June. So yeah, definitely. I'm with Mona. Definitely try and find one that's established. If they have a waiting list, that's usually one that you want to put your name onto because you got to do better there. So. All right. Donnell says it's going to be 51 degrees in Michigan today, which is not normal for Michigan. I don't know what the temperature's supposed to be here today. I think it's like about the same here, which, yeah, for us, it's about, it might be a bit warm, but it's not super bad. All right. Let's see. Did I miss anyone pop in? Okay. Pam's saying it's uncomfortably warm where she is too, because she's over in the Brisbane area in Australia. Okay, let's see. Okay. So.
I plan to go to Australia. I would love to go scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef. I would
Oh
love
yeah,
to go.
you'd have a blast there. Yeah, because where have you gone scuba? If you don't know, Brandy is a certified scuba diver, and she has gone to like what, Aruba and some other fun places.
So we just recently came back from a trip in Bon Air, which is part of the ABC Islands. So
Yes.
it was great. And we're going to the Socorro Islands in April. And that one's a 2 week trip, but it's a liveaboard, which is very similar to a cruise ship, only on a smaller scale. And we don't have casinos on it, of course, because it's a scuba diving trip. So it's
Right.
20 people to a boat, not counting the staff. And then 4 dives a day, two in the morning, two in the afternoon. And you swim with the giant manta rays and the dolphins and the sharks. And if you search it on YouTube, you'll see lots of great videos of it. I'm a little scared of the giant man rays because those things are as big as my house. But hey, it's going to be the dive of a lifetime. So
That sounds like fun. I'm looking forward to seeing that because I've never been scuba diving. I don't know that I would be. I don't know if I could actually do it. Like I'd like to, but I don't know. The whole breathing underwater thing would take a bit of getting used to. So I don't
and
know.
it
Never seen that.
but you build up to it, and one of the things is I'm claustrophobic, so
I mean,
it took a lot of steps to get to where I am, and I'm actually a master diver now. I'm not a dive master, which is different. Dive master is the top of the commercial line. Master diver is the top of the recreational scuba divers. And so we actually received those while we were in Bon Air. We finished our certifications for that. Um,
very nice. Yeah, I think in-laws have been to Bon Air on a cruise ship because I have a Bon Air t-shirt that they bought for me. So,
the cruise ships do stop there, yeah, a lot.
yeah, they've been to all those places. I think they went down to I forget the name of the place. Curacao, I think it is, down there by South
Uh-huh.
America.
That's
Yeah,
part of the ABC Islands. That's the sea in the ABC Islands, Curacao.
oh, okay. I'm with you now. See, my knowledge of the geography of the Caribbean area is not great. They didn't teach us that in Australian high schools.
So, yeah, well, I didn't know where it was until we started going to Bon Air either. So, all right, let's see.
All right. So Brandy, Joyce was asking what you're making. You're making some mug rugs as well, but you're cutting out the fabric first,
I
correct?
am, yes. And so the two that I'm currently working with is the candy canes, the little candies. They're like candy canes. They're like the little peppermint mints. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Um, and then this is going to be like the backing.
Oh, very nice. That looks really neat. Yeah, had intended on going to Joann's or one of the fabric stores on the way home on Thursday, but the traffic everywhere was horrible. So I took that to be my sign that no, Sean, you just need to like slowly make your way home and just use what you have in stash. So that's what I did.
So I've actually had this for a long time. It's a little bundle of fabric I got, oh gosh, when I first started quilting. And it's just been sitting up in my shelf. And when we talked about this, I was like, that's gonna be perfect.
Yep. So there you go. All right. Okay. Mona says she talked Shady Susan into doing cotton cut. She's got to do the batiks. Oh, that's fun. Is that for the puzzle mystery quilt, Mona? Okay, let's see. Jan says her daughter went up to the north of Western Australia and swam with the whale sharks. Oh, that would be fun. Chloe
Oh
says
yeah.
she couldn't, she doesn't think she could do the scuba dive. I'd like to think I could. I just need to, like you said, work your way up to it. I don't think it's something that you just do one time. I think you'd have to do it a couple
Oh
of
yeah.
times to get used to it. But it's like anything else. Like you don't become a master diver day one. So, all right, let's try to make sure I get this right. I don't want to bring up my divorce lawyer if I don't have to.
Right.
There we go. Okay. Pam says mug rugs are much easier to do on an embroidery machine. That's probably true, but I don't have access to one of those, and you're a little far away. So, for me to come borrow yours. So I'm just having fun, just using up, using up scraps. I mean. I thought about going to the store, but then, as I said, it didn't work out, and this kind of worked out just as nicely. Okay, so yes, it was the proclamation quilt, so that's awesome. Who was asking me? Someone was asking if I'm ready for the nor'easter. The answer is hopefully, because I didn't even know there was one coming, but I did get a wind warning on my phone this morning, so I guess it's what they're talking about. I'll have to go check that out later on and see what's going on because I didn't even know there was one coming.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but it's also that time of year for nor'easters to come floating around this area, so you get used to it. It's not that bad. It's just like a windstorm.
Yeah, we get a lot of ice here.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of that, thankfully. I'd rather deal with wind than ice. Plus, it's also just a good excuse to stay home and sew, right?
There you go. If only my work would allow me to call in and say I'm quilting today, I won't be in.
That was funny. Like I used to work at a yard, like a rail transfer yard where they took bulk product off a rail car and put it on the trucks or vice versa. And we had this one guy, and he was a tanker truck driver, like for fuel, gasoline,
That's what
diesel,
my husband does.
avgas.
Yeah.
And he'd come in like if it was windy or rainy, he'd call out because he'd mess up his hair because he had like this Elvis hairstyle. Like,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, yeah,
yep.
I'd love to see that. Oh yeah. One of my employees calls in because the weather's going to mess up their hair. And yeah, that's not going to be a good conversation.
Well, I guess he'd been there long enough. Like he got away with it because yeah, like if it was windy, or especially if it was rain, like especially if it was windy, yeah, there was no seeing that guy. Like he was out.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's what my
So
husband is. He's a fuel hauler. He hauls fuel. Well, yeah. So, yep.
oh, he was a sweet guy.
Tanker
I
truck.
loved him dearly, but yeah, he was just fine. Yeah, no, he was out.
Funny.
All right, so man, for asking what part of the country you live in.
I live in Oklahoma.
That's
I
really
was
neat.
actually born here, but I grew up in California, and then I came back about 20 years ago, and I haven't left.
I've never made it to Oklahoma. I guess the closest I've probably been is, I have to say, St. Louis,
Huh? You got pretty
which
close.
I mean, I know it's not super close, but that's as close as I've gotten. I've flown over Oklahoma a bunch of times. I
Hey,
don't think,
right smack dab in the middle we are.
yeah, I think I woke up over Oklahoma one time. I fell asleep coming back from Australia one time. I actually fell asleep as we were turning onto the runway to take off. That's how tired I was. And then I woke up a couple of hours later and we're actually like smack bang over the middle of Oklahoma.
Well, I actually live in Oklahoma City, and we've done a lot of stuff here in the last few years. Um, it's actually become really it's nice to go downtown. We have like a river walk and everything, and they're talking about holding the rowing portion of the Olympics in our at our river
Oh,
because
nice.
yeah, we have a huge river facility for rowing and whatnot, and so we're in the bid for that. So fingers crossed that'll bring some money into the city.
Will that be for the 2028 games in Los Angeles?
Uh-huh, but they're going to do the rowing portion in Oklahoma City. They're
Oh, wow.
considering it. Yeah, it's crazy because they were discussing the rowing portion in the rivers and whatnot, and so we're working on trying to get that over here. It's pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's really neat. I had no idea. That's really neat to hear. Okay, my friend Laura Lynn is here this morning from Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. If you haven't checked out their channel, please do so. It should be exclamation point mom. Let's see, did I get that right? We'll soon find. Yes, I did. Okay, perfect. And while we're talking about Laura Lynn and everybody else, next week you're going to get to see me twice because I'm going to have my live at 8 a.m. Eastern as usual. And I'll have my good friend Donnell from Donnell Stitchery. You've seen her a couple of times before. And we're going to make some bowl coasters together. We're going to do it two different ways. I'm going to do it the way I normally do it, and she's going to do it the way she normally does it. But she puts like a binding and like a little hanging hook and some other fun stuff on there as well. So definitely come back next week at 8 a.m. Eastern to check that out. But after that's finished, you can run off, get your coffee, a little snack and that sort of thing there, and then come back at 10 a.m. Eastern because myself and 24 other content creators are going to do our quilt trunk show where we showcase our favorite quilt. And Brandy was part of that last year. It was a lot of fun having her on, but I decided it was going to be a really neat idea to bring in a whole new cast for this year. So you don't want to miss that. If you haven't seen last year's show, go check it out later on. It's about 2.5 hours. So you might need to break it up into little pieces, but it's a lot of fun. But I think Brandy, I think you're close to the beginning of that last year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think I might have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually
So
showed my very first quilt, I think, is what I showed.
yes, and that was actually funny. Like, spoiler alert. Um, a lot of people showed their first quilt this year, which was not the case last year. So it was really interesting to see that it was, a lot of first quilts were people's favorites. So,
Oh, that's great.
but yeah, Laura Lynn and Kent will be part of that show next week as well. So you won't want to miss that because the quilts that they show are definitely really fun. You don't want to miss that. So there you go. Okay, Lisa, what happened to Lisa? Oh, okay. Lisa was here. She said we'll catch you later on the replay. She's gonna be part of that show too. There's a lot of fun names next week. You don't want to miss that show. So there we go. Okay, good morning, Jamie from the Quilting Compound. You can see Jamie's channel as well. Exclamation point, Jamie. Have I shown you what I've done so far, or have I gotten distracted? I've probably gotten distracted.
Ah,
Okay,
look at,
so that's my
oh,
little
I love
nine
it.
pack. And these are all just, did I do 2-inch squares for these? I think so. Yes. So these are all just 2-inch squares, and then this is going to finish out at roughly 5-inch square. So this will be a little bit bigger than the other ones. Like if you put them with these. So if you have a slightly bigger mug, you can make this one, or you can make these like 2 3/4 or three. You can just adjust it to whatever you want. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and recreate this one that I made last night, but I'm actually going to put dark green on the corner so you can actually see the candy, like the little, what do they call these pieces of candy? Those round ones with the peppermint candies?
The peppermint mints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we're up to on that. Good morning, Julie Cooch says, finally got to catch you live. Hello from the hills of Arkansas. Oh, that is awesome. I don't know. I get a lot of viewers from Arkansas, so it's good to have you with us this morning. Samantha says, I wish I was sewing, but I'm getting ready for family today coming over. I'm just carrying you all around on my laptop. Oh, that is awesome. I've been taken to Home Depot. I've been taken to Joann's and a bunch of other places. Someone said they took me to the bathroom, which, that's a little strange, but whatever works for people. I'm not,
Yeah. Yeah, I've
All
been
right.
in the middle of watching a live and I'll tell them, hey, I gotta drive, I'll be back in a minute, but I'll have them playing in like my cup holder so that they're still playing in the background.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. So there you go. Let's see. Yeah, Lauren Lynn is usually live around 1 p.m. Eastern. We're just checking to see if she will be live today. I would say she is usually. Let's
I
see.
was
Okay.
smack dab in the middle of my sleep cycle, so I almost always miss her unless I'm off of work for the whole weekend.
Yeah,
So,
and Saturday is usually the day we take the boys out on adventures. Like, we'll take them out to see a museum and that sort of thing there. So I don't always get to catch her live either. But if it is raining or nasty outside, I do get to catch her because we're not going to go outside and do stuff in the nasty weather either.
oh,
Okay, so she is live at 1 p.m. today. So if you want to catch her live later on, definitely catch up with Mom and Pop. They're always a lot of fun. And then Donnell goes live at 11 a.m. Eastern, and my friend Russ goes at 11 a.m. Eastern as well. And then I think, Fallon, are you live at 10 today? We'll find out on that as well. So there you go. All right. So Pam has said if I come over and visit her, she'll show us how to use an embroidery machine. We will definitely, yeah, next time I head down that way, we'll see. But every time I look at the airline um, prices, I cringe and give up on the idea. So we'll just have to see how that works. Okay, so I am going to cut some half square triangles using my handy dandy, what's this thing called? Folded corner clipper.
There you go.
This thing has been my new best friend for stitch and flip, which is what I'm going to do right now. And it may not be the best view, but I figured it'd be good. People have asked how this works, and I thought it'd be a good idea to try and show them without, and I don't want to move the camera because I'm going to give everyone vertigo. So I'm lining it up here on the square. I've got the line going from this corner up here to this corner down here. And then what it does is it adds a 1/4 inch on the other side. So what I can do then is just trim it up, take it away. And the nice thing is once you're done, you have the two pieces here and all the dog ears in that are already taken off.
Oh, that's nifty. I like that.
Me too. I saw Kendall Taylor use this on a project of his about, I don't know, what, 4 or 5 months ago now. And I was like, that thing is fantastic. I have to have one. So I ran on the Amazon right away and ordered one. And it's come in, and I've been using it ever since. It's really good for like the Elizabeth Hartman Art East projects that I like to do. And it's just really good. I've also found it's really good too for trimming up, when you're attaching your ends of the binding together.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
And there's a lot of different uses, and it comes with a little piece of paper and it tells what you can use it for and that sort of thing there as well. So, yeah, it's one of the little products that I've been using for a while now and absolutely love. It's just, if Finley ever got a hold of this, she'd be in a lot of trouble, but I'd just go ahead and get another one. So hopefully you can see a little bit of what I'm doing. So, all right, Teresa says she loves that ruler. Do you have one that you use, or you just think it's neat that what I have? All right, so let's see what else have we been up to. We're going to do this, and then we'll put it together. These come together pretty quickly. I think with a bit of luck, I might be able to make all four of these in the space of the live. We'll see what happens. I've made three of them without having to use my very, very bestest friend. All right, so Brandy, do you have any hobbies outside of quilting and scuba diving?
So I have some backyard stuff I do. Like um I'm a chicken mama, a beekeeper. Let's see, what else do I do? I run marathons.
Ah,
This is
yes.
Yeah. I'm a pace coach for a running store called Red Coyote. It's here in Oklahoma. Um, I help um new beginners start from 0 to a half marathon in
That's all.
basically 18 weeks. So, but
That's
I'm kind of taking a season off next season. I'm still going to be a coach, but I'm going to be course support. Um, there's been some issues with my back, and my doctor needs me to strengthen my core. I have a condition called spondylolisthesis. I know it's a really long word. It means one of my vertebrae doesn't act like it's supposed to, and it makes it so I get on my own nerves a lot. So, I don't need people to help me. I can do it all by myself. Um, so I'm taking the season off, and I'm just going to be course support, which means I'll drive around the course, and if any runners need to go back to the store, somebody gets hurt, I'll help with all the water stops that we have, things of that nature, so that I'll stay involved in that. But I won't have to. I'm gonna keep all my runs to 3 miles. I won't do anything longer than 3 miles next season.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's good that you get to stay involved just in a different role as well. I have done a half marathon. That was 10 years. And it's something I really need to get back into and do again, because that was a lot of fun. Um, they actually have a pretty neat race nearby here where it's kind of point to point rather than starting and finishing in the same spot. You actually start further up the road and then you finish in downtown. So
Hmm.
I like those sort of races where it's point to point. They had one like that in Sydney called the City to Surf that I did 10 years. That was 10 years as well. That was 15K or about 9 miles, and you started in downtown Sydney, and then you ran up, yeah, you ran through a lot of the city. You went up this gigantic big hill, and then you ran down into Bondi Beach to finish off. And it's like the most spectacular finishing section of any race I've ever seen. And that was a lot of fun. And I really do need to start doing that again. So maybe that'll be a 2024 goal for me. Okay, let's see. Teresa says she's had the this ruler for a couple of years as well. Let's see. Okay. Julie's telling Fallon that she likes her 2-inch trim lock. I have cut 800 squares from leftover scraps, postage stamp quilt. The rulers are the best. I need to get my hands on some of those trim locks. I just have not done that yet. But Fallon and her husband do such a wonderful job with their products. I have their, I can't quite reach it, the slide lock, which is the bigger, longer ruler for cutting yardage and that sort of thing. And I love that thing. That's all I use for cutting yardage. And I love using it too for cutting the like trimming the quilt after it's quilted, which doesn't happen very
You
often.
pick me up one of those too. I've been drooling over it every time I see it.
It's an investment. I mean, the rulers are not, they are not cheap. If you're looking for Walmart prices, you're not going to find it
Oh,
there,
oh
but
no.
it is worth every penny. Like, if you get a little bit of Christmas money or something this year and you want a really, really good ruler, I can't I can't recommend it highly enough.
I
So,
tried going the cheap route in the beginning and those rulers didn't last long. So
I mean, I still have this one, which is the Fiskars one that you get at the very beginning,
yeah,
with your
I
cutting
think I
mat.
have one of those somewhere too.
And I love this thing. I mean, it's a great little rule. If I just want to cut out something real quick, it does a really good job. It seems to be accurate. There's nothing wrong with this. But when it comes to the big, long, like 24-inch rulers and that sort of thing, then you're trying to cut yardage, you don't want that to slip. And with
Oh
those sort
no.
of rulers, they slip. This one here, it stays put. I mean, I think I could probably go out there in a hurricane. I'm not going to test a theory, but you could probably go out there in a hurricane and it probably wouldn't move. It'll be wet by the time you're done. But, you know, there you go. Fallon says she's done 2 half marathons. It was so fun. I need to get back into running. Well, maybe Fallon and I can encourage each other to actually do that next
There
year.
you
We'll have to.
go.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So, it's out. Fallon is the challenge on.
Look at you guys setting goals, setting goals. This is
Yeah,
where the
I
goals
think
are
I
set,
think we should
guys.
both do a half marathon in 2024. I'm game if you are. It's not going to be the same one. I mean, I'm not going down. I'm not doing a half marathon in Texas. That's way too warm for me. But
Funny.
I think there's one here in March, which I think is a little close. For couch to half marathon, like you said, 18 weeks. That's done. But they have a nice one here that's just up the road in October. I think that might be okay. She says yes. Okay, so Fallon and I have just challenged each other. We got to do a half marathon next year. So I'm thinking next October there's one. This I think they used to have one in September, but it's way too warm for me there. I prefer to run when it's cold. I've done like 10Ks, 15Ks, that sort of thing there in the snow, in the like sub-zero temperatures, and I'd rather do that than when it's warm. So there we go. Okay. Oh, is it Jan's birthday? She says, off to bed, busy the last 2 days celebrating my birthday, starting to hit me now. Well, happy birthday, Jan, for whenever it was. It's good to see you as always. Okay, let's see. Laura Lynch says, me too, but the Canadian US dollar is not fabulous right now. And that's very true. Like the Canadian dollar, I think what is trading at like it's 75 US cents or in reverse, like $1.35.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, and then you look at the Australian dollar and it's even worse. So there you go. All right. How does this work? Yes. Okay. Get this right in a minute. Okay. I'll look and see what's here. I'll need to be the end of next year. It'll be too hot. Absolutely. Yeah. I think like this time next year, we should both pick a race and we document it and maybe we can do a video together or something on it. Show, that sort of thing there. So that's our challenge. Fallon and I, thank you so much for encouraging us, Brandy, even though you didn't realize you did. But that's going to be our little goal for each other for next year. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So
Go. You
All
never know
right.
who you'll inspire with your story.
Exactly. No, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, because I did a lot of training and that sort of thing for the City to Surf, which is that race in Sydney I told you about. Because I didn't want to be in the general group, so I had to qualify for one of the front groups. And so the nice thing was, like, it was based on time. Like, you had to run a 10K in this amount of time or whatever.
Mhm.
And because I'm at sea level and it's flat, it was a lot easier than trying to qualify if I lived in the mountains.
So
So
funny story, I live in Oklahoma and most people wouldn't think there's a lot of hills here, but believe it or not, when you're running them, you notice that there's hills. Um, and I did all of my training for a marathon here, and then my job sent me to Florida. So I didn't get to run the marathon I had been training for, but the Key West half marathon was um, like the next month or something. So I ended up running that. And I tell you what, that was the flattest run I had ever run. And they had one little bridge you went over at the very, very end. I swear you could hear people moaning as everybody was going over it because the whole thing was so flat. And then like at mile 12, they give us like this little bridge. But
yeah,
it was
yeah, the half I did was totally flat. I mean, if there was 10 foot of elevation change in the whole race, I'd be surprised. But yeah, when I did the City to Surf, the first 5K, it was just all rolling hills. It wasn't anything major, but that just about killed me. Like training on flat grounds, all well and good. Qualifying on flat ground is fantastic, but yeah, you just cannot train for elevation in this area. Like,
mm-mm.
well, we've got one big bridge you can run over. It's like 160 feet high. So I mean, I was able to train on that because there's a one big hill. It's like 300 feet of elevation change in the middle called Heartbreak Hill, and I was able to
Probably
train
like
for
Cold Heartbreak Hill.
rolling, the rolling hills at the beginning. There's no way to train for it.
Mm-mm. We get a lot of people that train for things like Denver and stuff, and they always talk about how they weren't expecting the elevation. It's always crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here.
Okay, so here we go. Look at this. Okay, so Julie says, I will join the challenge, but instead of running, I will walk and do a video, live in the
There
national
you
forest
go.
system. I absolutely, yeah, I think that's wonderful. Thank you so much for mentioning that, Julie. Yeah, if anyone else wants to join in, like, this challenge that we've just magically set up, like I said, you come to our live and you never know what's going to happen. If you want to do a walk, whether it's 2K, 5K, 1 mile, half a mile, challenge yourself to do something that you didn't do this year. Go a little further. Um, yes, if you want to walk it, walk it. If you feel like cycling and you want to cycle 10K or 20K or, 10 miles or whatever it is, challenge yourself or swim. If you have a gym nearby that has a pool and you've only ever swum 2 laps, try and challenge yourself to do 4 or 5, that sort of thing there. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And I'd love to hear, over the course of the next year, what you guys are able to achieve. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Oh,
So,
yeah, definitely.
yeah, I think it sounds like a lot of fun. So thank you so much for doing it. All right. Pastry Queen's Farm Adventure says, I hope everyone has a fantastic week. I have to go get some packages to the post office so that everyone gets their gifts on time. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's really neat. I did get your email. I thought I replied to it, but I guess I didn't. Whoops. Okay, Julie, it sounds wonderful. I need to start walking for health. I will start on the sidewalk as I'm out of shape. Absolutely. You've got to start small. It's like quilting or anything else. You don't become a champion marathon runner on day one, right? Have you seen
No,
any champion marathon runners on day one or day
no,
two?
we even have walking groups at my where I coach, and lots of people start in that walking group, and then the next year, and they're in the next group up, and the next group up until, you know, yeah, no, walking is great.
Yeah, and I find too, like there's a lot of, especially in my area, we have a lot of 5Ks and 10Ks and sort of thing now, and a lot of people walk it. And I think if you sign up for a race, you know, it's a great motivator because you've just plunked down, 40, 50, 60, however many dollars it is. And it kind of forces you to do it because you don't want to lose all that money.
That's exactly it. Once you paid for that race, you're like, all right, I'm committed now. I got to do something. It don't matter if I'm walking that bad boy, I'm going.
a lot of people walk those things. I mean, I think in the races I've seen, not so much the half marathons, but the shorter distances, the 5Ks especially, I think probably from what I've seen, half people walk it. You know, you have your percentage of people that are serious runners trying to beat personal best to qualify for Boston and that sort of thing there. And then you have, some joggers and then a lot of people walk. So don't ever think that um, because you can't run, you can't do these things. Just sign up, just check there's always a course limit, but as long as you do a fairly, decent walk, they're not going to kick you off the course.
No,
And do it that way, right? Or am I saying this wrong? Because you know more than I do.
no, you're saying it right. I mean, I went to the Vegas Rock and Roll Marathon, and there were some walkers in the back that were like had signs that said "party in the back," and I mean, they just walked the whole thing, and they had a blast.
No, my dad and stepmom walked the City of the Surf in Sydney too. Like, I guess I inspired them because I ran the thing, and they have like I think it's called the Back of the Pack, and
Yep.
yeah, they just walked it. I think he
Doesn't
told me
matter how fast you go, miles or miles, we all get to the same finish line.
exactly. It just takes some of us a little longer to get there than others, and that's okay. All right, let's see. Mona says, I don't think I'll be able to run, but I'd love to be able to hike trails again. Okay, perfect. All right. Um, Julie says she drives a truck. Oklahoma has hills. Yeah, I almost got in trouble once because when I went down to Australia that one time, I talked everybody. I talked my sister, her new husband, and my wife into doing a 5K in the vineyards nearby. And Amanda looks at me and she's like, "Okay, is there any hills?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm looking at the topography thing, and it didn't look like that big a difference in elevation." Well, what I had forgotten was that I was looking at the elevation change in meters instead of feet.
Ah, uh-oh.
And so, yeah, when it shows like a 5 meter elevation change, it doesn't sound like much, but 16 feet's a whole lot. Yeah, and then you multiply it. Yeah, so it was very hilly. And yeah, I wasn't the most popular person that day. She's like, "You told me this was flat." It's like, well, I thought it was. I'm sorry. I got confused. All right. Let's see. All right. Joy says run a few miles from me. Okay, we can do that as well. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna try something here. I found a new button here. We're gonna put a poll in and see what happens. All right, so you should see in the chat a poll. It's just a real simple question. I just want to see if it works because I discovered this little button last night, and we'll see if anybody answers. Okay, we're getting answers in. Okay. I just asked everybody if anybody else is sewing today. Oops, coming in. All right, so we got yes for 57%. Okay, so I think we talked about this earlier, but I'd love to hear the reason behind why you decided to start a channel. Like, did you wake up one morning and go, okay, yeah, I want to be a content creator? Did someone else inspire you to do it? What's your story?
So, you know, I didn't see, I mentioned this in the beginning, I didn't see a lot of beginners. Everybody I saw were like these experts, and everybody knew exactly what they were doing. And I was so new at this. I thought it would be a great way for me to learn and be there for somebody who else was just learning. So,
That's awesome. And how long have you been quilting again? I know you told me this before, but my memory is absolutely horrible, and I'm
so
happy to admit it.
I started sewing. I had started using a sewing machine. I'd hand sewed since I was a little girl. Our next door neighbor um, saw my naked doll and said, "Come here, let's put some clothes on her." And I said, "I don't got no clothes for her." and she said, "Let me show you how to make clothes." And so she taught me how to hand sew when I was about 9. But
Okay.
I had never touched a sewing machine. And I had to have an emergency hysterectomy in 2020. And, everything was shut down during that time. So there wasn't a whole lot for me to be able to do. And
Right.
my mother-in-law had passed away, and I had her sewing machine in our garage that hadn't been used in 20 years. And I had my husband take it out for me. And so I went to YouTube to figure out how to fix it. It's an old, heavy Kenmore. I still have that thing. I'm never getting rid of it. Um,
Right.
but I took to YouTube to figure out how to fix it. And while I was on YouTube trying to figure out how to fix that, I ran across Missouri Star and Angela Walters, and um, I was like, wait a minute, I might be able to do that. And so next thing I know, I was down at Walmart buying fat quarters and a rotary cutter and a thing and this and that and that and the other. And before I knew it, I had my first quilt. I did get the sewing machine working too.
Oh, excellent.
And I
All
used that
right. So,
sewing machine for quite a few months. And then my husband bought me this, which
and
is,
which one are you using now?
I'm using a cloth quilt Ambition. Um,
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Yeah. I always love hearing people's stories, like how they got started sewing, how they started their channels and that sort of thing there, because we all start for different reasons. I mean, I
yep.
I did my home ec in seventh and eighth grade and hated every minute of it. And I think I probably said back then I'd never touch a sewing machine for the rest of my life. And for 20 some years, that was true. Good morning, April. It's good to see you. Okay, so Donnell says she can't see the poll option, just a blank white box on my phone. I'll be signing today. So yeah, if anyone else is using a phone to watch today, can you see the poll? I'm just very interested because it's something that YouTube has here as an option, and I'm just curious to see if that's
So
something that works.
I can't see the poll either, Sean. I've got my phone up over here and I can't see the poll.
Okay, so
It's
maybe
just a
it's
blank white screen.
okay, so maybe that's a desktop only thing. I just saw the button last night and I was like, "Oh, I have to try that tomorrow and see if it works." So,
I just thought it was
this is
me.
no. Well, I'm glad Donnell said something because yeah, it's we sometimes sit there and wonder if it's just us. So yeah, um, I think it's fairly new, and I'm sure it's something that they will work on over time. So maybe that's something we can. I've seen other people use similar things in the past. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay, so April says she can see it on the iPhone. Lisa says yes, and I selected a choice. I'm not on Android. I can see it on my phone. Okay, so apparently it's working on some phones and not others. So that's interesting.
That is interesting.
We'll play with it and over time we'll get it sorted out. But I just thought it'd be fun just to try it out and see how it worked out. So that is good. Mary says she can see it. Kathy says she saw it on her phone. So there you go. That's really neat. Okay. Maybe it depends on what operating system you're using. I don't know. I'll have to do some research on that. Okay, Jeannie says she's on an iPad and able to vote as well. Okay. Okay, so with Debbie says on phone, top of chat box, touch, and it will open the vote. Okay, why is the Nightbot telling Donnell that she's saying naughty words?
Mm,
Hang on. It's weird. Okay, I think I know what it is. Okay, let me go fix that. All right. Sometimes this bot is a little over anxious. I think I got mad at the word box.
really? Hmm.
When I do, 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 Well, I found a nice list that had all sorts of wonderful words, and I wanted to be. Oh, okay. I don't know what happened there, Donnell, because I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on. You didn't do anything bad. Don't even worry about it. Um, okay. So there you go. All right. Well, thank you for being part of my little experiment. As I said, I was just curious to see how it worked. But
That's why it's an experiment.
exactly. And I figured, let's bring along everybody for the party because I don't think that thing works unless you actually lie. Okay, so this is the one I made before as an example. I used the same fabrics, but I used the green to go around the edge.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I think they both look great.
Yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm going to use it for my own self. I'm not going to give it away because it also had some yarn bath on the back, and I'm just too lazy to. Um, oh, okay, I got it. Thank you, Donnell. Okay, I'll fix that because that's we know what happened now with the bot. I will get that fixed momentarily. Okay, so now that I've done this, I can go ahead and continue on my way. Okay, so. Oh, Brenda's asked what we're polling. I was just doing a quick test because I found this button last night when I was setting up this live that I can do polls, and I just put in a simple poll that said, "Are you sewing today?" It was just simply a test just to see how it worked. I figured, why not just do something simple and see what happens, and that. So yeah, if you didn't get the vote, it's okay. It looks like 61% of people uh, are sewing something today. I don't know how many people altogether voted, but that's okay. Um, All right, so let's see. What did I miss? Okay, Laurie says, I'm not sewing on a machine, but I'm hand quilting a baby quilt today. That's still sewing, whether it's hand sewing, machine sewing. If you can sew with your feet, I'd love to see a video of that because I think that'd be absolutely inspirational. I don't know that anybody can sew with their feet, but if you can, that would be
So,
pretty awesome.
okay.
I swear I did not have a foot. I'm not a feet person, but if you want, you can sew with feet. Yes, please show proof. All right, let's see. All right, Joy says, show the back, please, and do you bind them? No. Okay, so sorry, I will show the back. This is the back of the thing. I did not bind them. You can bind them, but I figured I'm going to go quick and easy because I want to try and finish a few of these this morning. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. I'm doing it the same way I do my bowl cozy. So I've put my piece of batting here, and I'll do the same thing with the other piece. So, front, back of the block. I'll sew an X, just like I do for a bowl cozy, and then I'll sew them together, right, yeah, like so, all the way around, and then I'll flip it out, and then just sew around the edge, kind of like I do for a bowl cozy. I just think it
So
was easier
that's
trying to
what I
mess
did
with.
with mine. I
Okay,
did something similar. Mine are a little bit longer. I put the batting, took the two pieces, put the batting in the middle, and then flipped them right side out. And then I did just a cross stitch on it.
yeah,
So that there's no binding. Binding
yeah.
is hard
I
on
thought
both
about.
things.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like messing with binding. I was just like, yeah, let's just do this the easy way. So. But I'm doing that now so you can see how it works. All right. Apparently, I'm going to get a bunch of feet photos now. It's going to be very interesting. I don't know if I should have opened that Pandora's box, but you can only send them if you sew your feet.
Yeah. Mhm.
Let's just put it out there right now. So, all right, let's see. All right, Charlotte says she's going to a quilting group Christmas party today. Well, that sounds like fun. I don't know if I saw you coming earlier, Charlotte. So good morning. Good morning, Laurie. I don't know if I said good morning to you earlier or not. Okay. I'm just sewing an X across each piece. Okay. Yeah, so if you are sewing, that'd be a good question. Some people are telling us already, like Julie, if you are sewing today, why is it doing this? What are you sewing today? Julie says she is cutting up men's dress shirts for fabric. I make quilts for our veterans or anyone that needs to feel loved. I take them on the truck with me and hand them out all over the country. Oh, that is awesome. Thank you so much for doing that, Julie. Yeah, I've done some stuff with men's clothing before. They make wonderful quilts. Check. I have to. Oh well. All right. So now my buddy's coming out to play. Just a little bit. That's okay. Redoing that. Okay. So that's done. Let's see. I get distracted easily, as you if you can't already tell. Okay, that sounds beautiful. I'm helping hubby make a quilt for our daughter. Old Time Pumpkin by Old Time Fabrics, finishes by 88 by 98. Oh, that's big. Do you quilt that yourself, Brenda? Do you have a long arm handy, or do you send it out to a friend, or do you do it on a domestic machine? I think that'd be a little challenging, but it could be done. Sure.
I do all
You
my
guys,
quilting on my domestic.
me too. I just like being able to say that I did it from start to finish. Like I love what long armors are able to do, and I have quite a few friends that are wonderful long armors. But yeah, I like the challenge of being able to do it from start to finish. But that's me. Okay, let's see. All right, Chloe is doing her hand embroidery daisies for a mini quilt for barn. That sounds neat too. I remember her talking to me about that earlier in the week. Yeah, I haven't really messed with embroidery either. I've done applique, which is probably the closest thing to embroidery for me. Okay, so let's see if we can knock this one out at least. I always have these grand plans that I'm going to get so much done during the live, and then it never really happens. But I got four of those sewed together, so that's pretty good.
I have little challenges. I'm like, yay, we did like 12 bucks today. That's two more than we did the last live.
Exactly. Yeah. Any progress is better than no progress. So okay, let's go around the edge. I rent long arm at Angela Huffman's from Fun and Porter Show. She has a quilt shop here in Louisville. Quilted Joy. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think the only quilt shop in this area that rents a long arm is, I think it's Sunshine Corner, or it's up there in Newport. It's a wonderful store. I've been there once. Um, but I think it's like you have to be trained on it, and then it's 30 or $40 an hour. And I don't know, like those things terrify me. I've used a gamble a couple of times, and I think if I really, really need a long armor, I think I'd rather just pay the money and have someone that knows what the heck they're doing, do it for me. And then yeah, support a small business at the same time. So I don't know that I'll ever actually mess with that, to be honest.
I don't have enough space in my corner for a long arm.
Oh, I don't have the space either. Like, I don't think I'll ever get, I'll never say never, but it'll be highly unlikely that I'll buy one for myself. But I don't know that I'd even worry about renting it. I think I'd rather just pay someone and let them do with it. Because I worry that I'd mess up with bobbin thread, or I'd do something wrong. I know I would. All right, Kathy says she is working on Bonnie Hunter's mystery quilt, and then we'll do some machine quilting on a long time UFO. You have many of those too. I need to, get moving on as well. And then my friend John from Art East brings out three new patterns that I have to have. So he's not helping my progress either. He did, for anyone who doesn't know, he did his release of the winter patterns last night, and they look spectacular. I want all three of them. So I guess that's 2024 sorted out already. Okay, I'm having Christmas with a family this weekend at my house. No sewing for me this weekend. I'll have to watch all the weekend replays. That's from Miss Lisa, and she's gonna be with us next week as well as part of the World Truck Show. So that'll be neat. Okay, so we're almost done with this one. Let's see. All right. So if Debbie says she needs to start and finish a few gifts, she will get them done. It is really good to have you here, Debbie, because I think she's out in the West Coast, if I remember correctly. So it's like only 6 a.m. there.
Oh, yeah.
It always amazes me that people get up every week and hang out with us, whether you're East Coast, Central, Mountain, Pacific, Western Australia, East Coast of Australia. I mean, it just amazes me, and I thank each and every one of you for spending a little bit of time with you, bit of time with me each and every week. It means the absolute world because if no one showed up to these things, I wouldn't do it. Good morning, Tiffany. She says, "Good morning. I am late, but been cleaning with Scott. It's winter clean day where we clean all the fans and all the high up stuff. It's been a busy, tiring morning." Oh, it's good to see you, Tiffany. It's really, it's always fun to have you hang out with us for a little bit as well. And Tiffany's going to be part of our little project next week as well. So you'll definitely need to come and check it out and see what
Oh,
Tiffany's
yeah,
favorite.
definitely.
Sorry?
I said definitely. Have to see what
Oh, for
everybody's
sure.
favorites are.
Yeah, it was really fun bringing on all the people and seeing all the quilts, and I'm really excited for everyone to see it next week. So set your alarms for 10 a.m. Well, you'll hang out with me if you want first, and then we'll go have a little break, and then we'll come back as well. And it's going to be a premiere, so everything is pre-recorded, but we'll have a live chat during the event, just like we do today. So that way you be able to, put your comments in and chat with everybody else. And a lot of the content creators that are part of this will be joined in the chat as well. So you can ask them questions and tell them how much you like their quilts, and that's it up there as well. So there we go. All right.
I don't know what happened there. Let's see.
So now I'm just sewing around the edge. And then we'll be done with this one. Okay, good morning. Okay, so Pat's saying, everyone's saying good morning to Tiffany, which was really neat. Okay, so we'll probably wrap this up in about 5 or 10 minutes. Do you have anything going on your channel, Brandy, that you'd like to tell people about?
I just have my live. It'll be Monday, at 9 Central. Um, like I said, it's been super busy for me with Christmas and everything, work. I just really haven't been able to do much of anything, unfortunately. But I try to keep my lives going. This last Monday, I was just exhausted, and I ended up falling asleep in my little recliner out in the living room right after I have a morning telecom for work right before the live, and I basically fell asleep during it, and I was like, oh God, I hope nobody asks me any questions because they're like, oh, I see she's on. She must be having computer issues. I don't know what they would have said if I hadn't answered, but yeah.
Sometimes you just need to take a bit of time for yourself, so I mean, I'm not one to talk, but I think it's important for you to do that. Okay, well, I don't think this thing's going to win any prettiest prizes at the state fair, but it is done.
Oh,
That's
very
the
cute.
back. Yeah, I mean, it's functional. I think it'll turn out pretty cute.
I have
So,
one that I carry around in my bag for when I go on retreats and sewing stuff. And it is
yeah,
actually literally just a square of leftover from the bag I made. I made a sewing, not a sewing bag, an ironing bag that has that um, fabric for ironing on, that heat resistant
yeah,
stuff. So the inside of that is made out of that, and then the outside was made with some purple polka dot grunge or whatever. And I just had some leftover of that, and I just cross hatched it, and then I did a very tiny binding around it. That's why I said I don't like bindings on these little tiny things. but that's like the back side of it isn't even completely like it's just scrap. So yeah, but it's functional and it works, and I take it with me everywhere I go. It's my coaster.
Yeah, I mean, I think functionality is definitely the biggest thing with this, like it's nice for everything to be pretty and everything else, but if it's functioning and it does what it's supposed to do, that's all it really matters. So, all right, I think I'm going to try and knock out one more. I cut out these squares of backing a little bit bigger just in case my math wasn't right. Because you can always cut it smaller. You can't really make it bigger without a challenge. So, okay, let's see. Okay, so Julie is off. She's going to celebrate her grandbaby's birthday today. So that is awesome. I hope you have a good time. Thank you for hanging out, Julie. It was great having you here in the chat. And Mona's on her way out as well. Has to go grocery shopping. Oh, that's always a joy. Um, I usually do it on Sundays. That's something I've always done. Let's see. Okay, Lisa's really leaving this time, apparently. She's doing the Southern goodbye where it takes her an hour to leave.
Mm.
This means she's having a lot of fun with us. She wants to hang out with us a bit long. I think that is a good thing. So
Yeah, sometimes you're like, all right, I'm leaving, and then you'll hear something interesting, and you'll be like, oh, maybe I'm not leaving. Oh, but I gotta go. I gotta go.
yeah, I remember I had someone come visit us work one time, and he was sitting there talking to me the whole time. I never got a word in edgewise, and he told me he had to leave like 6 times, and I'm like, I'm not the one that's stopping you from leaving.
Yeah, there you go. Wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Hey, good morning, Tamika. It is good to see you. She says, hi, all. It's been a while since I caught her live. It is good to see her. If you haven't seen her, she has made a wonderful quilt journal book that you can buy on Amazon. And it's like $6, and it's a great way of keeping your projects. It's like a little journal. And I've showcased it before on my channel. I don't have the link right here in front of me, unfortunately. But it's a lot of fun if you're looking for a quilt journal as well. So there you go. All right. It's really neat to see her because I haven't seen her in a while. Okay. Let's see if we get this done. Can we get this done in the next 5 or 10 minutes? The mom and pop's still with us. That's good. Okay. Did I miss it? If I missed something in the chat, please let me know. Tag me at the guy who sews. That way it comes up in bright orange for me. I think I've done a pretty good job keeping up, but I do miss stuff from time to time. So, okay.
Oh, I got a little stitch happy there at the end. Oops. It'll be okay.
So, what progress have you made so far today?
So I made one that I'm gonna keep because I messed it up. And then I got this one right here that like one side is for your cup and then one side for your snack or your spoon. So and then
Nice. Yeah, um, I need to make some of those bigger ones too. That might be a good little Christmas gift for my coworkers or something. But then again, I just have to sit down and find the time to make it as well. So it might not be happening.
yeah, I'm making Christmas flags for some of my I have a crew of 9 supervisors that work under me, and I'm trying to get all their flags done. I think I only got 4. So I got like 5 more to go. And then
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my Cricut maker out and use the heat transfer vinyl and put their names across it, each of the little different Christmas flags.
Well, that sounds fun. All right. So someone is asking for the name of her journal. If you bear with me a second, I gotta try and find a link for you. Bear with me a moment. I just have to find it. Do. There it is. All right. Please hold. It's called Quilting Whip Work in Progress Journal. And as soon as this thing behaves itself, I will throw a link in the description as well. It is showing it's $5.99 in Amazon if you're in the US. If you live elsewhere, it's going to be whatever your currency is plus shipping. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, quilting journal. Let's throw this in there. Okay, excellent. So there we go. I'll just put that in there for anyone that's interested. And it's a nice little journal. It's got all the information you need in it, but it hasn't got so much information that it overwhelms you. I did do a video on it earlier this year, showcasing what was inside and everything else. And that was a lot of fun. I can pull up that, and actually, I might throw a link to that video in as well. Just that way, if anyone is interested, they can go take a look for themselves. It's kind of like a little review video. Because sometimes seeing like a video review, I think, is better than just seeing like pictures on a screen, like
Yeah.
for like on Amazon itself. All right, why are you taking so long? Okay, maybe we're not going to find out. Let's try a different way.
Because this is modern life, and even when things don't take that long, we're like, hurry up and give me now.
No, I got plenty of people to see. Okay, do. We'll get there. Okay. Oh, there it is. All right. Share. No, 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 not that. All right, hang on. Now it's been difficult. Share. Copy. That should, okay, and I just put a link to the video as well in there. So that way you'll get, if you want to take a little look at what I'm talking about, you can. It does mention a giveaway on that video, but that giveaway has concluded like 4 or 5 months ago. So I don't want you guys getting confused and thinking I'm doing a give. I might do a giveaway for that again in the very near future, but not at this present time.
No trying to
Okay.
enter past giveaways.
Sorry?
I said no trying to enter past giveaways, everyone.
Yeah, I mean you can enter if you want, but you're not going to win, unfortunately. I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there just so I don't confuse anybody, because that is a video from earlier in the year. Okay, so Stephen says the house is clean, appetizers are made, wine is only music selected, ready for guest lead, and now I can sew. That is awesome. Okay.
Yay.
I
Anything
know.
else to get the sewing? Yay!
Yeah, I will not be attending because Oshawa is a little far away for me to go for a day trip, so I could make it up there in a day, but
Yeah. Would you make it home before bedtime?
no, it's about 10 or 11, like 11 hours for me to drive there. So no. Okay, Jeannie E says, I won the journal in your giveaway. That's right. I like it because it's easy to use and cute. So yes, the winner of that journal is already it's already got it, and she's in the chat, so it's really, really neat. So
Oh, look, there she is reviewing it for us.
yes, I love that little journal. It's a really neat little book. And yeah, I like that it's an affordable price point and that sort of thing there as well. So oh, Steve's got to send a Learjet for me. Okay, perfect. I'll be at the airport in just a few minutes.
Ah, better get packed.
I'm only going for the day, so and if I'm flying, I don't have to worry about driving, so I can have a couple of beers, so I'll be all right.
There you go. Like you said, you're off work for the day. Unfortunately, I got to go to
Yeah,
work tonight.
yeah. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see how this one went together. All right, Randy Bishop says, hi everyone, just joining. I will catch up on the replay. I am crocheting this morning. That is awesome. Yeah, I've never learned how to knit or crochet. My wife is a wonderful knitter. She does a wonderful job of her project. She does a lot of socks, shawls, all that sort of stuff there. She has her own channel as well called Dog Mom Knits. If you haven't checked it out, if you're interested in knitting, definitely go and take a look at that. Let's see. Put her link in as well. I'm all about the links today. So there you go. Hi, Charlotte, and anyone else I know and don't know. I've been listening, but working around the house and no typing. Yeah, and I think a lot of people do that too. Like they hop in and don't necessarily always chat, but it's always good to have each and every one of you, whether you're chatting or listening or whatever you're able to do. So let me finish this up real quick, and then we'll say goodbye because it's 9:30. I've got to brew some coffee, and then I've got to take one of the boys out to an event. So I totally get the whole mom taxi thing now that we have two kids. I have a whole new appreciation for parents having to drive the kids here, there, and everywhere. With one kid, it wasn't too bad, but now that we have the two, it's a whole new ball game.
Gotta coordinate their schedules just right to be able to get everybody where they need to be.
Yeah, like yesterday, I had to run Simon to tennis, and Amanda took Lorenzo to their school for an event, and it's all at the same time. And I had to leave at work early to take Simon, and yeah, it's just different. Okay, let's. Mel says she's been loving Amanda's Vlogmas series. Yeah, she's having a lot of fun with that. So
I totally had that all planned out and I just couldn't get it. I even have some half the videos, but I just never got them edited and uploaded. And
I'm telling you, join me in Team Vlogtober.
I may have to because I sure can't do it in December. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's why I went to Vlogtober because I tried December twice, and both times I got about halfway through, and life just happened. So I was like, yeah, okay, I've maybe it's not the right month to do it. And I think with you in your position, that might be a wise move as well. You and I can start a whole thing where everyone does Vlogtober instead.
There you go. October's got Halloween in it anyways.
Okay, Chloe says that Amanda's Lanina wrap is gorgeous. That thing is stunning. Like I'm looking forward to seeing her finish that. So sorry, I'm almost done.
We're anxiously waiting. We're all holding our breaths. No, not really. I'm just kidding.
Oh, all right. I'll have to fix this because it's got like, some yarn bath here.
Ah, hey, it is what it is. It happens.
It happens. It's functional. I'll fix it in just a minute. So there you go. So there we go. All right. So what I achieved today. Let's see. I got this done. My little mug rug,
Very cute.
and then this. Yep. So I got those
Very
two done. And then I have this one that I have done the quilt or the mug rug top for, and this one. So that way, if you come in late, you got to see what I got up to. I'll try and finish these later on today and hopefully be able to show them all off tomorrow on my podcast. And so, oh, and then this was the one I made as a prototype last night, which is the same as this, but without the high contrast corners. So I think it turned out pretty cute.
They did. Very cute.
All right. Good morning, Janice. She says, I'm late, but here. How is everyone? I think we're all doing well, but we are getting ready to finish up. Otherwise, I'll be late and that won't be good. So, with that, I would like to say thank you so much for hanging out with me, Brandy. It was really good to be able to catch up with you and chat and, do some sewing with you. And we'll have you back again soon. And then while you're here, let's do one more thing before we leave. We figured beforehand that we would exchange our mug rugs at the end, and I'm going to give her a choice of which one she likes. You can have one of these or one of the unfinished ones that I'll actually finish before I send to you.
Oh, no worries. I kind of like the one that you said has the string barf on it. That's cute. The one that you said you're gonna fix. The the other one.
This one.
That one, I like that one.
That one. Okay. All right.
And then
Well, I'll send this one to you. So
Tom,
that'll
did
be
you need
good.
this one? I'm sending him this one because it's the only one I finished.
Hey, that's fine. That looks good. I like that one. So thank you so much for that. So yeah, I'll be sending mine to Brandy and vice versa. So we'll take care of that. I'll fix this real quick and get it over to her really soon. But with that, I do need to run away. So thank you everybody for hanging out. It was really nice having each and every one of you join us. If you are watching the replay, I'd love it if you say hi in the comments and just let us know that you watched as well. So with that, I hope you'll have a great day. Happy sewing, and we'll see you next time.